The Warriors are now 5-1 since bringing in Jimmy Butler. And just like that, they're back into the conversation for a deep playoff run. But how does one player take a struggling 10th seed and turn them into a legitimate conference finals contender? Simple. Butler fills a role that the Warriors have always relied upon during their championship runs. And if the rest of the NBA doesn't catch on fast, we might be looking at ring number 5 in the Bay. Let's break it down. Adding Jimmy Butler hasn't just elevated the Warriors' play. It's reignited Stephen Curry and Draymond Green's belief that they can climb back to the top. Butler brings exactly what the team needed. A reliable secondary scorer who can take over games in an instant. And so far, he's done that on an elite level. But his impact goes beyond scoring. The Warriors are now thriving in the non-Steph Curry minutes now that Butler is running the show. Brandon Podziemski looks like the high-energy young player they fell in love with last season. Moses Moody has taken a leap since the trade, and even rookie big man Quentin Post, who was in the G League earlier this season, is now thriving in a new environment. You can see the shift in energy everywhere. A prime example, Sunday's dominant win over the Dallas Mavericks. Late in the game, Golden State had a stretch where they dismantled the Mavericks without Curry. Over an 11-minute span, the Warriors outscored Dallas by 14 points with Butler on the floor and Curry on the bench. That's been the story since Jimmy's arrival. Over the last 6 games, Golden State are a plus 30 in the non-Curry minutes. Before Butler, a brutal minus 90 over the first 51 games. The difference is night and day. Golden State suddenly feels dangerous in the non-Curry minutes, and that's been a complete game changer, especially for Curry himself. He no longer has to constantly drag them out of deficits. Instead, he gets to check back in with a lead Butler built, allowing him to play more freely and conserve energy for the closing moments. The duo has shown incredible versatility. They can dominate together or be staggered, giving the Warriors a level of flexibility they haven't had in years over a full 48-minute game. Jimmy Butler hasn't just given the Warriors another elite scorer. He's also filled a role they've been missing since the championship days. The do-it-all Swiss Army knife type player. Much like Andre Iguodala once did, Butler makes the right pass at the right time, keeping the offense flowing in ways that Andrew Wiggins never could. While Wiggins was a key piece for the Warriors, playmaking was never his strength, and that often made Golden State's offense feel stagnant, missing easy scoring opportunities when Curry or Green wasn't the ones initiating. But with Butler, they now have another trusted decision maker with the ball in his hands. His passing is criminally underrated, and he's already had some big moments proving that playmaking impact. Take this play. Isolated against DeMar DeRozan, Butler blows by him, draws a crowd of defenders, and kicks it to Curry in the far corner for a buzzer-beating 3. Or this one against Houston. Draymond sets the screen for Jimmy to get switched onto Şengün, a clear mismatch. The defense scrambles, losing sight of Curry only for a second, but that's enough time for Steph to get backdoor for an easy 2. These are the kind of quick reads and precision passes that the Warriors desperately needed. Someone who can get Curry the ball on time and on target as he works his off-ball magic. But before Butler arrived, Draymond Green made one thing clear to the front office. They needed another quote-unquote a-hole. Another fiery two-way competitor who could bring the toughness and accountability every night. Andre Iguodala once played that role to perfection in previous championship runs, but David West and Andrew Bogut also brought that edge too. Now, Draymond Green sees Jimmy Butler as the guy for this moment, as he's really built up this team's confidence.
The second three, as Curry hits back-to-back triples. And he just gave the good night sign as well towards the Mavs bench.
Was that Steph Curry breaking out the night-night celebration in the third quarter? Yeah, and that says it all. With just under 3 minutes to go in the third against Dallas, Curry didn't think twice. He drilled the 3, turned away, and put the Mavericks to bed incredibly early. Normally, he saves that for when the game is truly in hand. His one rule, never do it and then lose. But this time, there was no question. Back on February 12, when the Mavericks took down Golden State in Dallas, PJ Washington mocked his celebration. The part that really stuck with the Warriors, Washington wasn't even playing that night. So when Curry Curry got his chance, he didn't waste it. But this was bigger than just getting even. It was about the confidence running through this Warriors squad right now. After the game, Curry kept it cool. The night-night stuff is never really planned. It's just whenever I'm feeling it. And you gotta be good to do it, Curry said. Think about where he was just a month ago. Every tough loss led to a post-game press conference full of frustration. The season felt like it was slipping, and now he's taunting opponents before the fourth quarter even starts. I feel like this is the most swagger this Warriors team has had since the 2022 NBA Finals, where Steph Curry pointed to his ring finger in Game 6 in Boston. Draymond Green also saw this coming. During All-Star Weekend, he went on TNT and made a bold claim.
He's brought back that belief, and I think we're going to win the championship.
Say that one more time so that everybody here can
say that with your chest. I'm sorry. I said I think we're going to win a championship, but I lied. We are going to win the championship.
Wow.
At the time, it sounded more like wishful thinking, but Green wasn't just talking. He was speaking from experience. He knows what a championship team looks like and feels like. And for most of the season, the Warriors were close. Then Jimmy Butler arrived, and Green finally had his answer. The reason we all felt we couldn't quite get over the hump was because there was a missing piece. That piece isn't missing anymore. That piece is him. Since Kevin Durant's departure in 2019, the Warriors have been searching for that perfect mix of talent, toughness, and championship DNA. They tried to land LeBron, they pushed for Paul George and Lauri Markkanen last summer, but couldn't close a deal. They even came close to bringing back Durant, as Golden State and Phoenix had a framework in place before KD shut it down. But in the end, it led to Jimmy Butler, a player who needed the right situation to elevate his game and cement his legacy. Draymond summed it up best. Jimmy almost won a championship leading a team twice. He just needed a little more to get over the hump, and we needed a little more to get over the hump. You put those together and you get this guy with an undying passion to win, mixed with guys who have done it before and are hungry to do it at least one more time. And the results speak for themselves. Since the start of the Butler era in Golden State, the Warriors have exploded. The defense is locked in, the offense is flowing, and the chemistry is undeniable. Just look at the way they dismantled Dallas 126-102 in a statement win. That perfectly showed the team playing with confidence like a true title contender. And the numbers back these claims up too. Before the trade deadline swing for Jimmy Butler, things weren't looking great in Golden State. They were stuck in the middle of the pack, 10th for defensive rating, 18th in offensive rating, and 16th in net rating. Really nothing special. But since Jimmy arrived, not only do they have a 5-1 record, but the numbers have jumped too. They now rank 6th in offensive rating, 3rd in defensive rating, and 5th in net rating over this stretch. The confidence is real, and for a good reason. The numbers back up the idea that this Warriors team is a legitimate title contender. Historically, championship level teams rank in the top 10 for both offense and defense, giving them the versatility to match up with anyone. But the Warriors, they're knocking on the door of top 5 on both sides of the ball. And just to put that into perspective, only 2 other teams in the league right now rank top 5 in both offensive and defensive ratings: the Boston Celtics and the Oklahoma City Thunder. When I made my top 10 title contenders video, the Celtics and Thunder were my number 1 and 2. But with these numbers and the way the team has been playing, Golden State are forcing themselves into these conversations. And I know some people weren't happy with me putting Golden State in the top 10, as in the comments I saw plenty of takes saying that the Rockets and Lakers should be ahead of them, but personally I just don't see it. I had Golden State at number 10 purely because it's a very small sample size, just 6 games. But if they keep playing at this level over the next 10 to 20 games, they're only going to climb higher in my title contender rankings. Jimmy Butler is the perfect fit for this Warriors team, essentially playing the Andre Iguodala role, but with a much better offensive game. Another one of his best strengths is getting to the free throw line. He's averaging 9.2 free throw attempts per game so far with the Warriors, which is valuable not just for the extra points, but for another reason that often gets overlooked. Every trip to the free throw line gives his teammates extra rest, even while the game is still going. Free throws take around 30 seconds to a minute, it, which means Curry and Draymond aren't consistently running up and down the floor. If they're on the court, they can stand and catch their breath, and if they're on the bench, they get an extended rest. For veteran players, that makes a huge difference, keeping them fresher and sharper as the game goes on. And I know people think that this is a bit of an overreaction, but trust me, it's true. Offensively, Butler is deadly in the mid-range, knocking down jumpers with ease. And on defense, he's not giving up anything. He's going to compete, slide his feet, and play with that signature intensity. The confidence level within the Warriors locker room right now is terrifying. Steph and Draymond have been to the mountaintop 4 times, and for them to believe this strongly in their current squad is not just talk. Golden State genuinely believes they have what it takes to win it all this season. And the scariest part, you can't tell them they're wrong. They've proven it 4 times already. As Draymond put it, he knows what a title contender looks like, and he's convinced that they have one right now. Only time will tell if he's right. I personally still have 9 teams ahead of them in my title contender rankings. And if you want to see which teams the Warriors will have to get past before the playoffs, you can check out that full breakdown right now.